Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Transmitting here for Mich and Miky. This is a very interesting topic. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the process of in which society goes according to logical, theological, and cultural norms and rules. Can we still claim that we are free, that we have free will? Well, that's a difficult question because we think, for the most part, that we are always free, that we decide on our own. But to what extent are we not programmed by social norms, by family norms, by books we read, by movies we watch, by information that we get either consciously or subconsciously? So the question is an interesting one. Is there such a thing as free will? And it's a question that I want to ask Mickey and Mitch very much because, well, they're very, very smart people. And also, they have a very independent thought. But the question is, how much independent are we? If we think that the TV has an influence, TV has a strong influence on our thoughts. Not only TV, movies we watch, books we read, movies we watch, books we read, the social programming, obviously the family programming. So, to what extent are we free to decide? Because even the criteria to make decisions has been set out somewhere before us. For example, they tell us accept something if it is your benefit, if it gives you money, if it gives you pleasure, if it gives you satisfaction, if it gives you learning, if it gives you some insight, if it gives you some kind of benefit, then you accept the proposal. So we are conditioned even to decide how we have to make decisions. And I'm not saying that that is something bad. That can actually be a lesson for survival, right? Like when we know from which plants we shouldn't eat, right? We shouldn't consume certain plants because they are poisonous or because they are dangerous or because they don't have the nutrition that we expect that should come from it. So, this is an interesting question that I'd like to share with Mitch and Mickey. And so, I'm going to glance through a fantastic book that I recommend everyone to read and which has many, many interesting um, chapters. Here is Mickey, and I'm going to welcome him.
Mm.
Mickey, hello, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hi, teacher. Good morning. I'm great. Thank you very much. And you?
I'm fine too. Thank you very much. I'm giving the introduction of the topic of today, which is the next part of the chapter society. And Mickey, I was thinking about this interesting question. Is there such a thing as free will? Because if you are so kind to read the following text,
Yes,
um,
sir. Um, TV has a strong influence on our thoughts, movies we watch, books we read, the social programming, the family programming. So, to what extent are we free to decide?
yeah, exactly. And most of all, first of all, we need to define freedom. What is freedom in your mind, Mickey? It's a complex word, yes, because it's intangible, but there must be some kind of approximation to the word. So, what is in your words the word freedom? What does it mean, please?
Mm, well, yeah. Like you said, it is a difficult word to say meaning, but probably freedom is like the right to speak, to talk, to walk, to I don't know, to use a space,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
to move to everywhere you want.
Exactly. Have you ever thought who guides your thoughts? In other words, who or what, who or what guides our thoughts? Why we think what we think? Is it something
Mm,
that comes naturally to our heads, to our brains? Are they produced as a result of biochemical reactions? Is it conditioned by how do thoughts come to our brain?
I would say that folks come to rain things of the environment in we develop normally. For example, things of our school, things of family, things of our friends, things of the things that we read, that we listened, and when you listen to all those ideas and all those thoughts, you start to create your own thoughts, probably.
Yeah. Is that probably the result of the interaction of biochemical reactions in the brain? The you, me, your dad, I, we went to the gym, so we developed certain types of hormones as a result of that exercise that invite us to drink more water or eat more vegetables or do something as a result of that exercise. In other words, I think I feel the desire to drink water. Well, yeah, because I did a lot of exercise. Well, now I have the strong desire to eat some delicious vegetable salad. Okay, but that's because the exercise that I carried out is inviting me to supply the need of those nutrients that I have. Now, then it was like an impulse, not a rational conclusion. What do you think about that? Is it possible, or how to form? Yeah, the interaction with the society. Your parents, my parents told us, you have to be kind. You have to be polite with everyone. So you are polite with everyone, which is something very nice. Um, but it's not that we decide the first time that is what we want to do. Probably want we see a noisy neighbor. Oh, we want to choke him, right? Because he's playing the music so loud. But then our parents taught us that we needed to be polite, to be humble, to be patient. And so we said, well, I'll just forget it. I put on my earphones, and then we decide according to the lessons of our parents. What do you think about that, Mickey?
Um, yeah, I agree with you, teacher. I think that our thoughts, or the majority of our thoughts, mm, were being created thanks to our parents, thanks to our family, thanks to our near circle, because and probably it will be different with a society to another. Because, for example, here in Mexico, there are things that for now, for us, are normalized, but probably in other country, uh, it isn't. So yeah, I would say that Orthodox mainly were created for our parents and for our near circle.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, you have been using the word normalize, which is a word that I like very much because it represents, in a way, a small criticism to our society in which we grant something as normal when in reality know that internally is something which is not very good. We normalize violence when you know that violence is bad for the society. We
Mhm.
normalize crime. We normalize corruption. We normalize vulgar language in schools. students, young people, even adults normalize speaking as they wish, or many other things which I'm not naming or mentioning. But when you say we normalized or things are normalized, I think that is a very powerful word which intends, I think, to raise awareness to the things that we should change. What do you think about this concept, Mickey?
Could you repeat, teacher? Sorry.
Yeah, what do you think about? You have been using the word normalized, and I
Yeah.
like this word very much
Mm-hmm.
because it represents to me a social problem that we have, that societies have,
Mm-hmm.
in which they portray something as normal when in reality it
Mm-hmm.
is out of par. It is out of below the standard. For example,
Yeah.
violence. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, how can we use this word to our advantage? Because you use this quite often, and I like this word very much. How can we use it for our benefit to motivate people to change for the better?
Mm, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna give an example. For example, let's say that we normalize here in our city to plant trees in the street. Probably for other people could be like weird or something related. But when you normalize something, well, it is probably I would say that you get used to it because you see
Yeah,
like
yeah,
normal.
exactly. So I think that what you're doing is something incredibly important. You are, or we can be putting the nice word in this blank, right? Normalize, and instead of putting violence, we put planting trees, educating people, working for something more positive or for something positive, rewarding,
Yeah.
helpful, etc. So I believe that's an excellent approach. Well, I suggest then, Miki, that we go to our book here,
Yeah. Mhm.
and then we do some of the questions that are following here. So it says, read the questions and then discuss the answers with your classmates. Let's read the first one, please. Can you
Yes.
read number one, please?
Mhm. We live in a society according to logical, theological, and cultural norms and rules. Can we still claim that we have free will?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, like we talked, probably we don't have like a completely free thinking or completely free will because our thoughts, uh, in a way or another, are based on something, and probably could be your family or news or um, TV, internet. So like I don't know if it's good or bad, but in one part we are losing like our own uh, independence of thinking. How we say that?
Yes, our own independence of thinking or of thought, right?
Yeah.
Of thought. Okay, once you know that we depend a little bit on the education that our parents gave us, we depend a little bit on the society norms, we depend on the books that we read.
hmm
Uh, are we able to become more independent thinkers? And the questions are we able to become more independent thinkers? And the second question, which is also curious, is it bad if we think according to the programming of our families and our society? For the most part, not necessarily always all the time, but is it something bad? Okay, our parents taught us to be kind, to be polite, to be responsible, to be hardworking, to have a complete education, which, well, we are here, right? So it must not be so bad. If it had been very bad, we would be in jail or we would be killing each other in the streets, right?
Mhm.
So I think maybe, well, we are here. You have a wonderful family. You have a nice school. You have a good activities. Very uh, brilliant future. So maybe it's not so bad. So um, what do you think about these two questions, Mickey?
Are we able to become more independent thinkers? Mm, I would say yes, and the way how we can become more independent thinkers is always asking yourself if the things that you're doing are giving you, I don't know, like an advantage or it is really helping you. Because sometimes we do things mm, like if there were like habits,
Yes.
and we do like a daily activity, and sometimes it is necessary to think about it if why I'm doing this or why I'm doing that.
Right.
I would say that, yeah, questionize ourselves if the things that we're doing are good or not. Not only do because the rest of the people do. Does, sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's an incredibly intelligent question, and that would be like a self-analysis, right?
Yeah.
Self-assessment.
hmm
Self-assessment. And you know that this is incredibly important when you play games. For example, if you play chess,
hmm
one methodology to become a better chess player is to check your own games. You say, "Oh, I lost this game. Let me analyze it." And then you said, "Oh, I made a good move in the opening, but in the middle game, oh, I made a mistake. Then, oh, I had a tactical mistake. Oh, this was a strategic mistake." And then you start analyzing your production. Your production is your games. Or in the same if you're a tennis player, you are Nadal, and then you say, "Oh, I lost to whoever, right? To Rafa Nadal, who's the other Federer." And
Better.
then, yeah, right, to good tennis
hmm
players. And then Nadal says, "Well, here I'm starting to serve a little bit uh, very weak serve, or maybe my backhand or my forehand are not profound enough, or maybe I'm doing the slice very short or very sharp." Well, they start analyzing their own game, and then
Yeah.
they reach conclusions, right? They say, "Oh, I am making a mistake here. I need to correct that." And then they go to the training session and they say, "Now it's time to correct what I saw in my self-analysis." So this self-assessment that you talk about is incredibly important in sports, but why not in the rest of life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would we do this? How would we? Obviously, there is a different strategy for each person. Every person is different. But the question is very, very interesting. It triggers my curiosity. Are the things that I'm doing giving me an advantage or growth or development or nurturing or a lesson? And then you say, well, I'm going to the gym. That's giving me better health. I'm getting physically fit. I am gaining years of life, etc. So you say, well, that is fine. Maybe I say to myself, well, I've been spending too much time learning Arabic. I say, but Arabic, nobody speaks Arabic. Okay, that's not very smart. I'm making an assumption, right? So maybe I'm going to change that time to learn how to cook, or learn or go to the gym more often or something. So I make an assessment. I say, oh, no, I need to change these conducts, right? And then to acquire new habits. So we reached the conclusion that self-assessment is really a very, very important tool for improvement. We agree with that, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Well, so we agree there. Let's go then to question number two, please, Mickey. Can you read it?
Yeah. If telling lies is frowned open, why do we as society condone the use of white lies?
Yeah, and that is an interesting question. Telling lies is bad. Okay, so people gesticulate. Oh, no, that's bad. That girl, that boy, that man is telling a lie. That's not true. So that is bad, right? But then
Yeah.
you say a white light, and then people say, well, it doesn't hurt. And there is a great book. Let me see if I have it. I think we talked about it, didn't we? The art of On the decay in the art of lying by Mark Twain. Or we
No, I don't
didn't.
think so. No.
Okay, let me see if I have the book because it's a fantastic book. How do you respond this question, Mickey?
I don't know. Probably sometimes we have like this thinking that it's better if you do white lights instead of, I don't know, create a possible bigger problem. I don't know. And that's why it's like, well, nothing happens if I say this or if I don't. So I prefer to lie. But at the same time, there are people who, well, the society says that telling lies uh, are something bad. But white lies or bigger lies are the same at the same because both are lies.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see if this is the book that I'm looking for. Maybe it's not. On the decay. This is the book. Okay, this is a very funny book. It's a book written by Mark Twain, and it is very comic, and it addresses a topic. Let's read a little part of it, please. It's not too long. We're not going to read it all, but just some abstracts, please. For example, let's read the first paragraph. Can we, Mickey, please?
Yes, sure. On the decay of the art of lying, Mark Twain observed, I don't mean to suggest that the custom of lying has suffered any decay or interruption. No, for the lie as a virtue, a principle, is eternal. The lie as a recreation, a solace, a refuge in time of need. The fourth grace, the tenth muse, man's best and surest friend, is immortal and cannot perish from the earth while this glove remains. My complaint simply concerns the decay of the art of lying. No high-minded man, no man of right feeling, can contemplate the lumbering and slumbering lying of the present day, without grieving to see a noble art so prostitute. Continue?
Yes, please. Yeah, well, what he means is that is your surest friend. He's being very sarcastic, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man's best and surest friend is immortal and cannot perish from the earth. In other words, he says that the art of lying, that lie is man's best friend, right? He's being very sarcastic, and you will see this later. So, yes, let's continue here, please. In this veteran presence, please.
In this veteran presence, uh, yeah, I naturally enter upon this theme with diffidence. It's like an old maid trying to teach nursery matters to the mothers in Israel. It wouldn't become to me to criticize you, gentlemen, who are nearly all my elders and my superiors in this thing, if I should here and there seem to do it. I trust it will in most cases be more in a spirit of admiration than fault finding, in that if the finest of the fine arts had everywhere received the attention, the encouragement, and conscientious practice and development which this club has devoted to it. I shouldn't need to utter this lament or tread a single tear. I don't say this to flatter. I said it in a spirit of just an appreciative recognition. It had been my intention at this point to mention names and to give illustrative specimens, but in occasion observables about me admonished me to beware of the particulars and confine myself to generalities.
Yes, yes, yes. He's becoming very, very funny. It says in this veteran presence, of course, in this veteran, uh, he's talking about lying, and then he talks to the audience, to the readers, in a very funny way. He says, um, "You are my superiors, you are my elders, you are my teachers," right? Well, we're talking about lying, right? Well, you guys, he talks to the public, to the readers, you guys are my superiors. He's calling us he's calling us that we lie more than he does, right? That we are his teachers. But of course, he's making fun. Um, but then let's go to the core of what really he really wants to tell us, please. Um, this here, please, which is in really important. Can you read the next paragraph, Mickey, please?
No fact is more firmly established than that lying is a necessity of circumstances. That education, that is, when a virtue goes without saying, no virtue can reach its highest usefulness. without careful and diligent cultivation. Therefore, it goes without saying that this one ought to be taught in the public schools, even in the newspaper. What chance has the ignorant, uncultivated liar against the educated spert? What chance have I against Mr. Pear against lawyer? Judicious. Lying is what the world needs. I sometimes think it were even better and safer not to lie at all than to lie injudiciously. How do you say that?
Injudiciously.
Injudiciously. An awkward, unscientific lie is often as ineffectual as the truth.
Yeah, well, this is a very interesting topic. Um, let's say that I tell my grandma, which of course my grandmas have all gone, but let's say that they are still alive, or I tell my mom about a dress that I find not very pretty. Oh, mom, that's a very beautiful dress, but it looks so blatantly false that it's better to be honest and says, "Mom, that dress looks antiquated," or "Mom, whatever." He says that sometimes it's better to tell the lie than to tell a bad truth, right?
Yeah,
So he's using here the word lie as being polite, right? So it says an awkward, unscientific lie is often as ineffectual as the truth. What do you think of these situations in which we lie out of courtesy, which the book indicates that sometimes it's better to lie, um, but sometimes we don't lie correctly, that we are not polite enough. So it's better to be just honest and tell a person something the truth than to be bad, to be not polite enough. What do you think of this?
uh, well, I think that it's something that is true because I think that the majority of people could notice when someone is lying to you. For example, I don't know, you bought a new scarf and the scarf is a little bit ugly, and probably in your mind you know that it's ugly, and someone says, "Wow, your scarf is amazing," and it's like, well, you know, sometimes I think that it's better to just say the truth.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, that's the idea of this booklet, but it's very funny the way he expresses it. Let's read a little bit more, please. Can you continue?
Yeah. hmm Now let us see what the philosophers say. Note that venerable proverb: children and fools always speak the truth. That education is plain adults and wise persons never speak it.
Yeah, what do you think? That
Parkland.
is very. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
yeah, yeah.
He says the deduction is plain, right? Children and fools always speak the truth, so the deduction is plain. If children and fools always speak the truth, the deduction is plain. Adults and wise persons never speak it. He's making a sophisma about this. What do you how do you like this phrase?
Um, yeah. Well, if I understood correctly, it's like sometimes it's better to just don't say nothing and instead of say the truth and probably creates a problem or creates something uh, that yeah, could occasionate something bad.
Right, right, exactly, exactly, exactly. So he's instilling or convincing people to be polite, but he says this in a very funny way. Let's continue then, Mickey, please. Can we? Parkman,
Yeah.
the historian says.
Parkman, the historian, says the principle of truth may itself be carried into an absurdity. In another place, in the same chapter, he says, the saying is old that truth should not be spoken at all times, and those who must seek conscience who are reason to habitual violation of the maxim are imbeciles and nuisances.
Yeah,
It
nuisances,
is
yes.
strong language, but true. Not enough of us could live with an habitual truth teller, but thank goodness none of us has to. An habitual truth teller is simply an impossible creature. He does not exist. He never has existed. Of course, there are people who think they never lie, but it's not so, and this ignorance is one of the very things that shame our so called civilization. civilization. Everybody lies, every day, every hour.
Right. Let's go here. I'm sorry. Here.
Awake, asleep, in his dreams, in his joy, in his morning, if he keeps his tongue still, his hands, his feet, his eyes, his attitude will convey this deception and purposely, even in sermons. But that is a platitude.
Yeah. He says that we lie every moment, every minute. And well, he's seizing the topic with sarcasm that lying is a necessity. But in reality, what I think he tries to say is that we need to be polite, we need to be kind, and a truth teller, a person that tells, "Hey, teacher Edgardo, that haircut is very antiquated. Oh, those glasses are out of fashion. That jacket, my grandma used that jacket, or my grandpa." It's that are constantly criticizing this. It's impossible to live with a truth teller. He's telling the word truth teller as a rude person, right?
Yeah.
So is more or less what he refers to. So let's do a little bit more, please, Mickey, if you are so kind, please.
In a far country where I once lived, the ladies used to go around paying calls, under the human and kindly pretense of waiting to see each other. And when they returned home, they would cry out with a glad voice, saying, "We made 16 calls and found 14 of them out." Not meaning that they found out anything important against the 14. No, that was only a colloquial phrase to signify that they were not at home, and their manner of saying it expressed their lively satisfaction in that fact. Now their pretense of waiting to see the 14 and the other to whom they had been less lucky with, was that commonest and mildest form of lying, which is sufficiently described as a deflection from the truth. It is justifiable. Most certainly, it is beautiful. It is noble, for its object is not to reap profit, but to convey a pleasure to the 16. The iron-souled truth-monger would plainly manifest, or even utter the fact that he didn't want to see those people, and he would be an ass, and inflict totally unnecessary pain.
Okay,
And
this is
next,
very interesting. I'm sorry, Mickey.
mhm,
This phrase is very interesting because he's mostly explaining the true core of the tale, of the short tale of the story, right? This is very important. Okay, let's read it again, please. Can you?
yes, the iron-souled
Ah,
truth-monger would plainly manifest, or even utter the fact that he didn't want to see those people, and he would be an ass, and inflict totally unnecessary pain.
yeah, imagine that you go to school and then you see Ponchito. Hi, Mickey, how are you? Hi, Ponchito. Well, I'm not very happy to see you. I didn't want to see you. Oh, well, and then you see Panchito and Ponchito and Lalito, right? And you didn't want to see Lalito because the other day he answered brutally to the teacher, "Hey, Mickey, how are you? Hi, Lalito. I'm dissatisfied because I just saw you. I didn't want to see you." And then we cannot just be like that, right? Truth monger, as he says here, right?
Yeah,
So, okay, that's more or less the idea. Let's continue then, please, Mickey. Can we?
yes, sir. And next, those ladies in that far country, but never mind. They had a thousand pleasant ways of lying that grew out of gentle impulses, and were a credit to their intelligence and an honor to their hearts. Let the particulars go.
Yes, okay. Then let's see. How do you do? Okay, yeah, this is very funny. Here, this one, please.
The men in that far country were liars, every one. Their mere howdy-do was a lie, because they didn't care how you did, except they were undertakers. To the ordinary inquirer, you lied in return, for you made no
Conscientious.
conscientious diagnosis of your case, but answered at random and usually missed it considerably. You lied to undertaker, and said your health was failing, a wholly commendable lie, since it cost you nothing and pleased the another man. If a stranger called and interrupted you, you said with your hearty tongue, "I'm glad to see you." and say it with your higher soul. I wish you were with the cannibals and it was dinner time.
Okay, so um, here is a very funny phrase. Let me put it here. It says, "If a stranger called you and interrupted you, you are eating, you are having fun, you are playing with your friends, you are doing something interesting, and the stranger called you and interrupted you. You said, 'Oh, I'm very glad to see you,' right? And the
Mhm.
person from the call centers calling you to, 'Mickey, do you want to change companies from from I don't know, from Telcel to Movistar,
Mister.
right?' And it says, 'Oh, you're very kind. Thank you for your call, but probably next time you say that with your tongue, but when your heart you say, I wish it were dinner time, and the cabinets were there.'"
Yeah,
Okay. How do you think of the style of the writer with these expressions?
yeah. Yeah, it was Mark Twain, right?
Mark Twain, yeah, he's the author of Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer and many
Hmm.
other writings.
Well, I completely admire uh, people who can write like this because he write like in a sarcastic way, you know. But at the end, they shows you the message that he wants to express. They want to express. So it's amazing. I really like it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, let's read a little bit more then, please, Mickey. It
Hmm.
says, when he went,
When he went, you said respectfully, "Must you go?" and followed it with a call again. But you didn't harm. For you did not deceive anybody, nor inflict any hurt, whereas the truth would have made you both unhappy.
that's a
Hmm.
very interesting comment. Very, very interesting, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
if you are plain honest, plain wide open, and you say, "Oh, please never come back," well, you don't
Hmm.
feel well, and the other person doesn't feel well. It's just polite manner to say, "Oh, you must go. Don't go. Oh, well, call again. Good to see you." When in reality, you feel differently inside. But it's very common. But it's very healthy, and nobody says, "Oh, you're a liar," or "I'm a liar." Uh, Why? Do we condone, as the book says here, right? The book says, if we say that lying is bad, why do we condone the use of white lies, right?
Yeah.
So back to this question. Um, why do we make this exception? Which I don't mean to say that it's bad or good. I just want to ask this question. Let's answer question number two, Mickey, please. Can we?
Yes, sure. If telling lies is frowned open, why do we as society condone the use of white lies? Yeah, well, like the book says, sometimes it is necessary to use those white lies because probably if you are really, really honest, you can hurt, I don't know, the self-esteem of someone, the feelings of the people in general, of people. And sometimes it's better to use those white lies to be more polite instead to be so honest and hurt hurt anyone.
Yeah, that's very true. That incredibly true. What about some extreme situations in which is not so clear which way you should go? Okay, in this case, you want to be polite. We want to be polite. We want to be polite. We don't want to hurt people with simple things or opinions, right? I don't want to tell my mom, "Oh, mom, that soup was not really good," or I something. I don't want to hurt people we like, we appreciate. So
Yeah.
we try not to be rude with people that we
Hmm.
appreciate. So we tell them a white lie, and that doesn't cause any harm, that doesn't hurt. There are
Yeah.
other cases where it is absolutely necessary to tell the truth, right? So
Hmm.
telling the truth is a must, right? I think Mitch is here. Let me say hello. Um, Hello, Mitch.
Mm.
How are you today?
Hi, teacher. I'm very good, thank you. I just, sorry, it is not that I forgot the class. Actually, it's just my dad invited me to the gym. Then, well, I'm here, but I just want to suggest if the classes when I don't want classes on Sunday. Actually, I just want to express that.
You want to express what? Excuse me. Prefer classes on
Uh,
Sunday?
Not classes on Sunday.
No classes on Sunday. Okay. Well, that might be good. That might be good. Yeah. So we can arrange for another schedule. Yeah, but Sunday is a day when we do lots of things.
Yes.
I Yeah. So let's try to organize ourselves and have the classes Monday through Saturday. I think.
Mm-hmm. The Monday to Saturday. Any of
Yeah.
those days.
For example, now that we're in the topic, if it's okay with you, Mickey, let's talk a little bit about that. Is that good? Like Monday, I finish classes at 3, so we can have the class like at 4. What do you think, Mitch? Monday at 4 or 5 for me is fine.
Monday 4 and 5.
Will be great if it's on Monday at 4ish.
At
For
4,
me,
okay.
there's not like a specific problem if it's in one day or another, but it's better to just uh, arrange all the classes and try to not move it. I think so.
Not moving. Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
true. Okay, then let's talk about Tuesday.
A
Tuesday.
pin, a pin schedule.
Yeah, maintain the same schedule. Yeah, that's surely the best. So Tuesday, I finish classes at 4, and then I have another class at 7. So Tuesday is normally finish at 4, finish at 4, and teach again at 7. And normally I have to go back home to come here. It takes me 20, 30 minutes then to eat, another 30, 40 minutes, and then I have to go back
Probably at 5 to 6,
5 to 6. Could be 5
or
to
is not
6.
enough time for you.
4, 10, 5 to 6. It's a bit tight. And the thing is that I begin at 7. So
Hmm.
it's like a difficult day because it's 7 to 4 and then 7 to 9.
Mm.
And then including one more hour would be a bit exhausting. It's not that I don't enjoy. I enjoy this class very much, honestly. Um,
What about the
but
other days?
let's think of Wednesday then better, please.
Yes.
Wednesday. Wednesday is better for me because I finish at 3 2, so it can be 4 to 5. 4 to 5 maybe. 4 to 5. And ideally the best day would be Saturday. Saturday
Saturday.
1 to 2. That would be the best for me. If it was able to be Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, that'd be
Monday,
like,
Wednesday, and Saturday.
excuse me,
Mm, just at that hour you can on Saturday?
I can on Saturday, but I cannot in the morning. Because in the morning I
Okay.
teach from 9 to 12:30. But then some students have questions and or say goodbye and they
Mhm.
want to chat a little bit. So from 12:30, the time we finish we normally spend 15 minutes.
Right.
And on Thursday or
Impossible on
on
Thursday
Friday,
or
teacher,
Friday?
you don't have time.
Thursday or Friday. Friday, I'm going to start. I normally teach Friday. My schedule is normally like this. I teach from 7 to 3 in the school. And then normally I teach two classes, which is one, which is 7 to 9 is a chess class, chess 7 to 9 in the evening. I
Mhm.
haven't started. I have not started. I'm going to start this Friday. And I normally give a class to an Ukrainian girl on chess in the afternoon. So I normally have a class of 1 hour, 5 to 6, or sometimes 4 to 5. So this is on Friday.
Hmm.
Mhm.
This is what I normally do on Friday. Um, so I teach a class 7 to 3 in the school, and then one class 7 to 9 is fixed. This I cannot change, fixed, right? And the class from 5 to 6, I can move it to 4. I can move to 4:30. Sometimes the girl changes the class because she has a tournament or she has to do something. She has homework, or she's
Mhm.
simply very tired, so she changes this class. Um,
4 to 5.
4 to 5. 4 to 5. Not to have classes on Saturday, right? And have only Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That'd be the idea. Or what is it? What do you think, Mitch Mickey?
Uh, for me, the preference is between Monday to Friday, but if it is not possible, well, Saturday and all of the days.
Let me see. Well, we could do it 4 to 5 and have it fixed, like 4 to 5, 4 to 5. Then let me see how we could do this. 4 to 5, and not chess. Would that be Mitch and Mickey? 4 to 5.
If you don't have problem, teacher.
No, no, no. I'm just actually this is better to have a fixed schedule.
Oh, really?
Three.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be better for me. I mean, I think for everyone.
Yes.
Um, and that way would be well. Actually, look, this would be very convenient because this would be fixed Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. I'm sorry, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 to 5. Could be a good solution. What do you think, Mickey?
So,
Monday,
in
Wednesday,
the
and
same
Friday.
hour, the three classes, 4 to 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's better,
I like
and I can
it.
remember too.
yeah, exactly. That way we don't forget, right? I sometimes
Mhm.
tend
Mhm.
to forget.
Yeah, me too.
Uh, 4 to 5. All this looks better, really. Looks to 4 to 5, and have it fixed. Of course, if there is an emergency, if there is something truly important, whatever, well, we can just have an exception. But it's better to have an exception and have a rule here, right?
Mhm.
Yes, sure. It's a good schedule for me.
Okay.
Yes.
So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that way we would be able, in my case, to sleep a little bit more on Sunday, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. How it was yesterday, teacher?
It was really good, actually. I watched two movies which were great. What's the name of the second one? Is a movie that you probably watched with Bruce Willis.
Mhm.
Mm,
Bruce
Which one?
Willis is
that's something.
this. I don't remember the name in English. I watched the movie, but it's what the sixth sense or feeling, the sixth something.
It's
Uh,
an old movie.
an old movie, yes, in
Yeah,
which
from a kid who has like sea spirits or something like that.
exactly that's the one. That's the one. You watched it?
A long time ago, I watched it. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good movie.
The man was a psychologist, and he
Mhm.
assisted kids with
Yeah,
psychological treatment. And then the movie starts when the kid shows up, pulls out a gun, and shoots him. And then he starts recreating the whole story. It's a great movie. Very, very good movie. Very intense, but with a very interesting plot. Have you
yeah.
watched this movie, Mitch?
Not really, teacher. I'm not really fascinated with movies.
Oh, you don't like movies very much? Okay.
No.
All right. But some of them are really good, and they have great stories to tell, good plots.
Okay.
Um,
A
yeah, I watched this.
recommendation?
Well, I tell you what, some of them are simply incredibly well developed,
The
well
Sixth
designed.
Sense? Sixth Sense.
I'm not sure
Okay.
if this is the name in English. Let me look it up really quick because it was a
Could
great
be.
movie. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, The Sixth. I think it is The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the name. The Sixth Sense. This is
I
it.
I should take a look.
Yeah, it's intense. It's very good. He provokes lots of feelings, but there is a nice plot, there is a nice story, there is a nice line behind it. So I'm sure that if you watched it, Mitch, you would like it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, so we have the schedule fixed Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And um, why don't you tell Mitch Mickey, please, the summary of our discussion today, and then she can participate also, please. Can you?
Yeah, in the beginning of the class, we were looking for just a little bit about the book of George Orwell, and we speak just a little bit of society in general,
Mhm.
and then we talk about uh, lying and how it's possible that we normalize the white lights, and at
Mhm.
the same time we say that telling lies is something bad. And we read a part of the book of Mark Twain. How was the name of the book, teacher? Art of Lying?
Um, it's on the decay in the art of lying.
Yeah.
On the decay in the art of
And,
lying. Here, this one here.
and Mark Twain in this book writes how
Yeah,
sometimes it's
this is
better
the book.
to be more polite, and that is better if you use white lies instead to hurt someone saying telling the truth, you know.
Okay.
But Mark Twain does in a really sarcastic way, and it is funny the way how he read it.
Yeah, exactly right. Very good, very good. And so the next question was this one. Mickey says, and I agree totally with him, where he says that uh, we don't want to hurt people, and so sometimes it's better to use white lies. And we drew this. We want to be polite. We don't want to hurt people with simple things or opinions. I don't want to tell my mom, "Oh, mom, that dress is horrible. Change it because I'm gonna hurt her, right?" So she says, "What do you think of my dress? Or what do you think of my hairdo?" Says, "Oh, mom, it looks absolutely beautiful." I say, "Oh, I can be
Mm.
not so blatant. I can say, well, it's nice. Look, I like the color. I like this. I do some. I do a white light, and I don't hurt her,
What?
right? Right? Yeah. Sometimes telling the truth is a necessity, right? You
Yes.
are a witness in a trial, and they tell you, you need to identify if this is the person who shot that person or who stole the bank. You need to tell the truth. Yes, he is, or no, she isn't, or even if it's an anonymous way. But you sometimes it's very important, necessary to tell the truth. So the question is, as usual, easy to ask and not very easy to answer. Uh, in what situations it is difficult to make a decision? Because here, bright people, smart people like Mickey, you, myself, our friends, our family, your parents, smart people will identify that, oh, this is easy. I do this. No problem. I can tell a person that I want, that I like, that I appreciate something polite, not to hurt him or to hurt her, right? That's obvious. Sometimes we know that telling the truth is an obligation and it's easy to. What about this? When is it not so easy to tell the truth or to tell a white lie? In what situations it is not so easy?
Our situation it's not easy to tell the truth.
Exactly. When
Okay.
we
Mm, maybe in the occasions that a person show us something that is very important to them, and but we know that better maybe it's not the better thing for them, but we don't know how to tell them. Even if we look up for the better words, in any way we think that it could hurt their feelings. Also, it's not easy to tell the truth. Mm-mm.
can you repeat what you just said, Mitch? It's incredibly interesting.
Mm.
Well,
Uh,
maybe with different words or
if
with
the,
the same words.
what if the person show us something that it's very important to them, and but we know that that thing could really hurt him, or it's not the better for him. We intuitive that, then we could. it's difficult to us to look up the good works to tell them, hey, that's maybe that's not the better for you, that's bad for you, but we don't know. We could hurt their feelings in any way, and that could be pretty awkward in some situations.
Okay. Have you had a situation, Mitch, in which you had to tell your friend something that you know that he or she is not going to like, but that you think or you're convinced that may be in his benefit, or that you are convinced that is in his benefit or her benefit?
Hmm.
You you have a good friend, maybe a relative, maybe dad, maybe mom, maybe your brothers, your cousins, a person that you appreciate, that you don't want to hurt, but that you know that you need to tell him or tell her something
Hmm.
that you believe, that you are convinced is going to benefit him or benefit her.
Well, these cases are pretty special, actually. Everyone of us have our own conception or what is good and what is bad. But
Yes.
okay, we can express our expressions to them, independent if they take it good or bad. But in the end of the story, each person has to discover what is good or bad for them and what could benefit us, even if they learn in the bad way.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good comment, Mickey. I don't know. There may be situations when there may not be a second chance. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so you drag the person dramatically or with force from a dangerous situation because you're totally convinced that he is not looking at something or she is not looking at something. Um, to be more precise, there may be a situation in which I am walking towards a hole, a sewage. A sewage is an alcantarilla, the sewage, and it is open, and I am distracted. And I'm walking, and my brother is looking at me, and he says, "Hey, you're gonna fall in the sewage. Be careful." Or he can say, "Well, he can learn by himself to not be so distracted." But I think he would say, "Hey, be careful. There is a hole, and you can fall in the ditch." I think depending on the gravity of the situation, you can
Mm-hmm.
decide whether to tell the person or not. What do you think, Mickey, of this?
Mm, when it is not too easy to tell a harsh truth or a sweet lie.
Yeah, yes, in yes, exactly.
Mm, but I need to give like an example of when it's difficult or.
Yes, yes, yes. One is a difficult situation for you to decide. Not an easy one like this one, which is very easy to be polite, or when it's very easy to tell the truth. But in this case, in what situation it is not easy and you have to decide, oh, the truth or a white lie, a
Yeah.
sweet lie or a harsh truth.
Mhm. I don't know. Let's imagine that one friend wants to sing in front of all the school
Okay.
because there's like a contest of talents in the school, and you heard him or her singing, and you notice that, well, probably it's not the best singer. Probably that will be a difficult one to say. Yeah, you're good, but probably you could practice more or something like that. But I don't know. But that will be a case.
Okay, very nice. And you don't know if you should tell him or not, right?
Hmm.
Very, very good, good story. All right. Um, what if we know that the person is going to make a mistake? He's going to fall in a ditch. He's going to fall because he's distracted, and you can tell him, you can say, well, he has to learn his own way, right? He's walking towards a hole, and he's gonna fall. He's gonna make a mistake, and you see it. You see it coming. Do you warn him, or would you just let him fall? What do you do? What do you do, Mitch?
Hmm, I I just try to help them. Uh, in this case, you mean is analogy giving an advices to not to let them uh, how can I say fell in the hole.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's exactly right. It's an analogy, and it can be a truth case also. Um, so depending, I would say that depending on the depth of the hole, how big or how serious the hole can be, the problem, the consequences. This would be like the problem, right? They're gonna fall into a problem. They're gonna make a mistake. They're gonna say a bad word. They're going to enter a wrong project. We are gonna do something wrong. This is the hole. So the question is, do you let him fall because maybe he's going or she's going to learn a lesson and he's not going to get hurt? Maybe he's going to trip, but he's not going to fall dramatically. Or you tell them anyways. How do we react in these situations? Or in what situations we say we warn the person, we give him a warning, and what situations we don't?
Do you give-
A warning. Hey, be careful.
yes. Uh, it's better that don't do this because it could happen this, and I'm warning you. I don't know.
But then you tell him, right? You don't let him
Mhm.
fall in the hole.
Yes.
Okay, I would do the same. I don't know, Mickey, what would you do in this case? Or in what situations would you tell the friend or the person, "Hey, be careful. This can cause you some problems or harms."
I don't know, probably if it's something that could damage the person, I think that it's better to say the truth. No, probably he can feel hurt or something like that. But in my case, I prefer that someone tell me the truth in those cases instead of tell me white lies and then I don't know provocate something worse. You know.
Okay. All right. That's also an important consideration, right? What do you prefer to be told? I prefer to be told the truth, or I prefer that people be polite and tell me a white lie. Yeah, that's a personal decision. It's a very important one, and we need to respect that. We
Sorry, teacher, I couldn't hear you. Probably was my internet there.
low. Okay. I
Can you
think I
hear me?
got disconnected. Well, let's finish. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
Can you?
okay, okay.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So let's finish here, Mickey, Mitch, and I guess we meet again tomorrow, right at 4.
Yes,
Hmm.
teacher. At four, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, take care. Nice topic. And Mitch, get better. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
teacher.
teacher.
Thank
You
for
too.
you. Thank for
Enjoy.
your time.
Are you gonna see the Super Bowl or not?
Uh, oh, today is the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
probably. I'll probably watch it. Yeah, I'll probably watch it. Yeah, let's see. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Eagles versus Chiefs of Kansas City.
Yeah, I like
Philadelphia versus Kansas.
I like Philly. I like Philadelphia.
Me too.
Oh well, let's see if we win, Mickey.
Yes, teacher. Let's see. Thank you very
Okay,
much. Take
take
care.
care.
Thank you, teacher.
See you. Enjoy.
See
See you
you.
tomorrow. Have a nice
See you
weekend.
tomorrow.